Vercruci here to take you through the week on HRTV.
In the 129th running of the Alabama, she won by more than 10 lengths.
You ever been to a barn? Have I ever been to whose barn?
Anybody's.
No. The backside that way?
I love you with all my heart. Will you marry me?
Here's Giant Oak walking down the shed row, checking out the camera.
And Speeder Stars at Galaxy Airport wins the Juddmonte International.
He's the most successful horse I've ever ridden, so I have to rate him the highest.
And the goal for Soccer Dan is to win.
Well, I got 2 more hours. We can do this all afternoon if you want.
No match for Soccer Dan, who clobbered him.
For Soccer Dan, that was quite a kick on the final turn.
Oh, yeah, if you're watching Deportes, they're yelling, goal!
I don't ever remember seeing or hearing anything like this.
I think she's never been better, as I said before.
One channel to watch your racing coverage.
That would be HRTV right here.
Season 2 of Jockeys premiered this week on Animal Planet, and producer Tina Gazzaro was on the phone with her thoughts on the new season.
What can we expect on this season? Perhaps it's a little different than what we saw last time.
I'm actually really, really excited about this season. It begins at the beginning of the winter meet, and we basically do the run-up to the Run for the Roses, which was super exciting. And I've been told by people in the industry, in the community, that we've really been able to show it in a way that nobody's seen it before. A really exciting time. You know, so many highs, unfortunately lows also, but I guess that's horse racing, you know. People who think that they're going. We thought we had 5 guys in the Derby.
How many did you end up with?
Garrett Gomez, Joe Talamo, Mike Smith, and then obviously we had Joe's last-minute scratch, which was unbelievable.
Oof.
Sad.
Yes. And
that's very compelling.
Tina, what new jockeys have you included in this season?
This year we were able to add Garrett Gomez, which was great. And we also had Corey Nakatani, who, you know, was injured on our first day of shooting for a season. So we were able to sort of track him coming back. And a lot of great horses. You know, Pioneer of the Nile and I Want Revenge and the Pamplemousse were, you know, all really featured this season.
Is there one storyline that has gotten more attention perhaps than the others?
You know, women come up to us all the time at the track. They want to know about Mike and Chantal. What's happening with their relationship. You know, and this year we were also really fortunate in that we thought we were still with Aaron Greider, and you know, his win in Dubai was amazing to be able to tell that story.
In this week's HRTV Diary, Chris Block's son shows us how Giant Oak has a jolly good time.
Here's Drew Kuntz hard at work on Giant Oak. Giant Oak just bit Drew Kuntz.
Did you get that, David?
Yep.
All right, video coming around the shed right here.
A couple days after Giant Oak's first work after the American Derby, an easy 5/8.
Here's Giant Oak walking down the shed row, checking out the camera.
This horse is doing really, really well. Still haven't been able to explain why he ran the way he did in the American Derby. We're going to give him that one. If you want to use the word a mulligan, we'll give him a mulligan.
Here's Drew hard at work. Giant Oak sure is a high-maintenance horse.
Well, it looks like we did something wrong giving you that camera.
That's nice. This is his ball he plays with. Jolly ball.
Smile, Drew. Big day, baby.
Giant Oak coming on the track here. Debris 5/8 on the grass.
Ricardo, look at the camera, man. There you go. Mr. Kuntz, how's the horse doing?
He's doing good.
Bit you this morning, did he?
Yes. Yeah, he took my whole hand.
Our only question in our mind right now is whether distance is a problem, and we'll find that out on August 8th.
As we know, Gary, we've been involved in this game for quite some time, you longer than I. It's just a part of the game. There's the ups, you're on top. There's the downs. Sometimes it seemed like you're all the way at the bottom.
You've got to have still skin in this business. I'll tell you what, as a rider, there weren't as many ups and downs as there is a trainer. Sometimes I've got one of those jolly balls down at my barn. Sometimes that's the only thing that is jolly down at the barn, but my hat's off to him, all trainers out there, because there are a lot of ups and downs, and more downs than there are ups most of the time.
It seems like it. In a game, as you've mentioned several times, Lafitte, where you lose 75% of the time, that's considered great. It's tough sometimes to take those defeats. when you're expected to do well.
Is that really called the Jolly Ball?
It's the Jolly Ball.
That's the Jolly Ball.
Yeah.
Wow.
You ever been to a barn?
Have I ever been to whose barn?
Anybody's.
No. The backside that way? Maybe your old man could take me back there sometime, Scott.
I'll be heading back, I'm sure, sometime.
All right.
Jockey Brandon Meyer had us all fooled with his confident hand ride Thursday at Arlington Park.
In the final furlong, Ines Carlson and Soul for Gold in front. It's a Miracle battles on now and battles hard for the final 16th. Soul for Gold, It's a Miracle up toward the wire. It's a Miracle at 3-5 wins all out from Soul for Gold.
Right here, I think, is this thing going to hit the board? And then confident can you be, Brandon Meyer?
Apparently, the inside horse just a bit more tenacious. And
did he even use the whip?
No, I'm watching this. I mean, Inez
hands?
is going to town and just did it in hand.
That's confidence right there.
Yes, it is.
I'd love to see that kind of ride, especially from a guy like Brandon Meyer, who, you know, a couple of years ago was not even in racing. We mentioned Brandon Meyer and how confident his ride was at Arlington Park. Well, there was a reason he didn't use the whip. He loses the whip, and he's like, you know what, I'll just go hands and heels all the way to the wire.
Watch the horse with the white face, the jock in the white silks, right there.
Juggle act.
He went back to hit the horse, and off it went.
Now you see it, now you don't. Brandon Meyer?
I think that actually might have helped the horse because they didn't seem to be going as well until he just kind of hand rode.
Yeah. Maybe
Some horses don't like to get stick. Maybe that was the key. Sticking the horse down the lane, he's putting his head up and not running. They throw the whip away, and boom, he gets more tenacious and gets the win.
Ollie Tate was on the phone to explain why 2006 Preakness winner Bernardini will make a great sire.
And here comes Bernardini, and he's roaring and pouring it on. Bernardini and Javier Castellano goes to the left-handed stick, but he's well clear from Sweet Northern Saint and all the others. Hemingway's Key has moved into third. Bernardini in the Preakness to win going away by 5.
We had the opportunity to witness the offspring of Bernardini, the yearlings, the first crop, sell at the Saratoga Select Sale, and sell they did. Did they surpass your expectations in the sales ring?
Yeah, they did. They did. I mean, Bernardini was such a wonderful racehorse, and he's got such a wonderful pedigree. I guess our expectations have always been high, but for them to sell the way they did at Saratoga was fantastic, and you know, it's repaying the people who've had faith in him. So it's wonderful.
His ability to gain some of the top mares in the game, that you think he's gotten all this attention?
Yeah, I think he was incredibly well supported in his first year at stud, and has been well supported in his second and third years as well. And you know, a mare like Birdtown, who provided the sail topper by Bernardini, the Bernardini sail topper, she was a wonderful mare, and you know, so whichever stallion she goes to, obviously she's going to create an interesting offspring.
Ollie, what qualities are you seeing in the offspring of Bernardini that he represented himself?
The Bernardinis, luckily, they're good-looking horses and have all the hallmarks of good racehorses. So they were very popular in the sale ring, and hopefully will continue to be so for the rest of the year.
When HRTV Rewind returns, what's next for retiring trainer Hal Wiggins?
And I might end up at the track in Houston. Who knows? Either training or maybe hot walking for so long. You know, you never know.
And some inside information on the ponies of Shinkoti. Time for a bullet drill, Jeff, as we have two very different ideas as far as handicapping goes usually, but we end up agreeing in the end. Give me one piece of advice for handicapping, just one.
Try to pick the best horse, and then get your odds, get your price.
Okay, one. Right. Okay, that leads me to the next one.
Okay.
One piece of advice for betting.
Bet more on your winners than your losers.
That's a really good
That's
piece
a good
of
one,
advice.
yeah.
Hindsight really good in that one as well. And one channel to watch your racing coverage.
That would be HRTV right here, you and me.
From the Bullet Drill to 2009 Hall of Fame inductee Silver Bullet Day, Pursuit of the Cup, remembering a champion.
And there goes Silver Bullet Day with a flourish on the outside, and she is charging toward the front. Silver Bullet Day strikes the lead on the outside. Excellent Meeting is now driving up to be second, and Baffert 1-2 in the juvenile fillies at the 16th pole. It is Silver Bullet Day. Excellent Meeting. The final surge as they come to line. Here's the wire. The filly champion is Silver Bullet Day.
I think the really good racehorses are intelligent.
I think they have sense beyond what other horses have. It may be as much in their head as it is in their heart. She's really a strong-willed mare. She gets along great. In fact, she's in the paddock with Azeri. She's also a few years older. She's a 1996 foal and been here for longer and had more foals, and you can kind of see that she's kind of mellowing, you know. She's much more headstrong and quick to maybe get excited when she first arrived, but now she knows the routine. She likes it here. She's happy.
And there goes Silver Bullet Day, and she is charging toward the front. The filly champion is Silver Bullet Day.
Trainer Hal Wiggins will call it a career later this year, but his love for horses will keep him around the game.
John White here from HRTV. Hal was on with me just a couple of days back, and he was talking about how he went to the University of Louisville Steward School and said you did the same. Now, is that something that you might explore sometime down the line, stepping into that role?
I would really like to. I did take that course 2 years ago. Yes, I intend to do that and keep up with that, and hopefully something along those lines might open up.
Now, you say you want to be back in Houston near the grandkids, but why retire from training? There's a track in Houston.
Well, there is, but as you know, when you're a trainer, you're almost 24 hours training and not spending a lot of time other time doing other things. So. And I might end up at the track in Houston. Who knows? Either training or maybe hot walking for someone. You know, you never know. And by the way, I want to tell Scott, we just got home in Louisville. We made a trip up to Chicago for the weekend to visit our son and daughter-in-law, Lon and Robin. And Scott, I ran into your father in the paddock at Arlington, and we had really never met each other. Of course, I've seen his name for years. And but anyway, he won that race. And I was still in the back. I wasn't up on the front side, but I heard the announcer say the all-time Arlington winning trainer. And I did not realize that, so that's quite something. I know you're proud of him, and just talking to him, I know he's very proud of you.
Well, I really do appreciate that, Hal, and he jokes with me, and a lot of people kid him that I speak so highly of you. He wonders if I like you better than him, perhaps, as a trainer.
HRTV spent the week in Virginia for some inside information on the ponies of Chincoteague.
For well over 300 years, a small island off the Atlantic seaboard has been home to one of America's last remaining herds of wild horses. But how these shaggy, resilient animals first came to live on the fertile marshland of Assateague depends on who you ask.
How did the ponies get here? Well, there's folklore and there's probably reality, and maybe a little bit of a mixture of both.
The myth, the legend is that Spanish galleon wrecked off here and unloaded the ponies.
Probably how the original ponies got here was pasturing by early settlers to avoid taxation back in the 1500s, 1600s, most likely in the 1700s. They would bring their horses out here and let them free range out here in Assateague Island. And then they just bred, and we got a wild pony herd going out here.
For sure, the herd has been added to over the years. There's been some natural selection, and that's why I can say they're pretty hardy, because they're out there alone.
They're very good-natured, very gentle pony, usually around 13 hands high. Make a great little riding pony for kids.
I have 2 children and 4 grandchildren, and all of them, when they were little, they all had Chincoteague ponies.
Today's auction day, and actually this could be just as exciting as the swim. Some people come here just to watch, some people come here with the intention of buying a pony.
We want the one that's in there and it's all white with a black head.
I moved here last year, but I've been coming out here every single summer since I could walk.
Coming up on HRTV Rewind, we're going international with Goldikova in France.
I think she's never been better, as I said before.
And See the Stars wins the Juddmonte International in England.
When they split through that hole, he clipped heels actually, had the steady, and takes a hell of a horse to make 2 runs like he did.
International reporter Fanny Salmon caught up with trainer Freddie Head minutes after Goldikova's latest win in France. Vive la France!
It was just minutes after the race. In French to his sister, Freddie had commented, "Horses this exceptional rarely come by." Then again, Goldikova's 6th Group 1 win by 6 lengths in the Prix Jacques Lemarois Arras de Fresnel-Buffard was anything but ordinary. Growing up in Deauville, I've had the chance to witness many a renewal of the mile championship, including the 2 claimed by Miesque. I don't ever remember seeing or hearing anything like this.
Goldikova qui place une impressionnante accélération qui aussitôt se détache. Elle s'envole vers un 6e groupe 1. Goldikova sublime.
I was a bit worried because she had to come a bit sooner than I wanted, but I mean she was going so easy that Olivier just let her gallop. Class. Oh, it was emotional. I think, you know, when you touched the excellence and probably something unique, I mean, it gives you a lot of shivers. Yeah, she's incredible. I think what she did today, it's something special, really. I think she's never been better, as I said before. She's very easy to ride. I mean, for a jockey, she must be a wonderful filly. Miesque, of course, was a champion or a true freak. But her, you can do anything with her. You could lead, you can wait, you can, you know, it's a question of just when, and when you want to go, you go.
Gone now are the worries that the Breeders' Cup champion may not have aged well between 3 and 4. One main issue, though, her reluctancy to enter the stalls. An issue that our connections will now tackle during her time off, sending her back to school to improve her gait behavior.
Jim, why is Arlington such a special place to you?
Actually, this is where we had our first date, and if I could make today a little more special. With your parents, my parents, and a few thousand of our closest friends as witnesses, I love you with all my heart.
Oh, I love you too.
Will you marry me?
Yes, I will. Oh my God, it's beautiful. Oh, oh my God. Thank you.
Well, hopefully you had some money on Tillman Hall because you can make up some of the money you spent on that ring.
I'll tell you what, I mean, that sounded like a business arrangement. Instead of kissing the guy, he shook his hand. I don't know.
Sign on the dotted line here, sir.
Right. We're about to prenup. All right.
Wow.
In 20 years, this couple will remember this day like John White remembers the 1989 Breeders' Cup.
The 1989 Breeders' Cup was held in Florida for the first time, with the races held at Gulfstream Park. A future Hall of Famer, Go for Wand, was victorious in the juvenile fillies.
And she's going to win it, going away. Go for Wand comes bounding home to a 3-length win.
Another future Hall of Famer, Bayakoa, took the distaff.
Bayakoa is put to a fierce drive, trying to hold on. Bayakoa is got it. Bayakoa wins.
Even though Prize had never previously raced on the grass, he managed to capture the Breeders' Cup turf.
Prize is surging. Sierra Roberto toward the inside, and here's the wire, and it is Prize.
And without question, the highlight of the 1989 Breeders' Cup was the showdown in the Classic between Triple Crown combatants Sunday Silence and Easy Goer.
They're standing in line, and they're on.
Sunday Silence had defeated Easy Goer in the Kentucky Derby and Preakness before Easy Goer turned the tables in the Belmont Stakes.
Sunday Silence, a threatening presence on the outside. Easy Goer is set down and he's put to a fierce drive.
In the Breeders' Cup Classic, with the 1989 Horse of the Year title on the line, Sunday Silence rose to the occasion and held off Easy Goer's late charge in a classic edition of the Classic.
Easy Goer with one final acceleration, and Sunday Silence holds on.
Aidan O'Brien was the only competition for See the Stars this week, but in the end, even he was no match.
And now push has come to shove for See the Stars. What's the champion got left in the locker? Master Craftsman is galloping on strongly. Passes the furlong, a length and a half clear. Now See the Stars is out after him and begins to bear down on Master Craftsman. See the Stars comes alongside Master Craftsman, eyeballs him and goes on. And it's 4 Group 1s and See the Stars, a galaxy apart, wins the Juddmonte International.
They looked a slightly risky manoeuvre in a 4-horse race, to go through the gap after him, but he was travelling so strongly, travelling much better at that stage than Master Craftsman, and obviously he felt at the time it was a safe manoeuvre to follow him through. It was a tough race. They ran record time, so you don't do that without effort. Michael said when he was pulling him up, he had a good blow. We hope the race will do him good and that he'll come on that little bit for the next race.
I have never ridden a horse that's been capable of winning at the distances that he has. He's the most adaptable horse I've ever ridden, so I have to rate him the highest.
Ran a brave race, got a little bit tired in the last half of furlong, but came out of the race very well. Obviously, we gave him a break after Ascot, and he was just ready for his first run back, and we think he improved a nice bit with his break, and we think he will improve again from this run because it was his first run back after a break.
What was your impression of See the Stars in the last 200 meters?
Goosebumps. I watched this race and I got goosebumps. I love the tactics of Johnny Murtaugh and the Ballydoyle team, but I love the tactics of Mick Kinnan. He covered that horse up and kept him covered up. When they split through that hole, he clipped heels actually, had to steady him. Takes a hell of a horse to make 2 runs like he did.
Did See the Stars beat Master Craftsman, or did the Monoquarter beat Master Craftsman?
No, I think it was probably a little of both, but I think with See the Stars he could have moved maybe a little earlier if the race was shorter. But Master Craftsman's an outstanding horse. If See the Stars is as good as everybody says he is, which he obviously is, and Master Craftsman isn't too far removed from being that, and I have him coming over and run him in the Classic as well.
What do you get when you combine a 2-time Classic winner with a 19-race winning mare? We'll find out next spring.
At Richmond Hills, we understand that Pepper's Pride's in foal to Tis Now, and she's a world record breaker for many racing fans. They followed Pepper's Pride. Could you just give us an update on her?
Yes, I actually live at Richland Hills Farm in Midway, Kentucky, and one of the pleasures I get is I look out my window and I look at the paddock or the pasture area where Pepper's Pride is, and she's doing great, and she's taken to her new role very nice. And the one thing that's really interesting about Pepper's Pride, and you might assume this with a filly or mare that has won 19 straight races, is she is the ultimate alpha female. I mean, when you're in that paddock, she's in charge. And I always, when I look up and there's a new mare we put in there, usually I look up and Pepper's Pride has her ears back and she's, chasing the mare off. And then they all kind of understand who's in charge, and it's fine. But, I'll go up to the fence, and one of the other mares will come to me to be pet, and Pepper's Pride will come up there first. She really doesn't care about me petting her, but she just wants the other mare to know that I get pet first, and I get pet until I'm done with it, and then she walks away and lets the other mares come up. But it's funny stuff, and we're just really proud that the Allens, chose Richland Hills to allow us to board their mare. She's been a lot of fun to be around.
What a great combination with Tis Now, who certainly was the alpha male himself, and both of them showing grit and determination in their racing careers. So that's fun, a fun fall to look forward to.
That's all for HRTV this week. Here's what you can look forward to next week. Thanks for watching HRTV Rewind.
But as we go off to break, we're going to give you a look on exactly what's going on at Laurel. Jockeys on bouncy horses.
Mind that Roadie breaks from mid-pack with Dusty Shepherd.
And Dave Rodman, he's going to have the call. Enjoy.
The flag is up. And they're off. Jump start for Deputed Testarodi. And also coming on now is Not for Roadie, Giovanni Garcia, Not for Roadie, and Deputed Testarodi. Will it be a Maryland-bred Deputed Testarodi or Not for Roadie in a photo finish? And the jockey Max Dash. It's a hip-hop, to hip it to the hip-hop, you rock it and don't stop, and Roadie Alexandra. is last across the line.